First story. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Mostly looking for third-party views on my situation to gauge my own emotions. I met my girlfriend in 2017. We moved in together in 2018. At the end of 2018, she said she did not feel like we were a good match anymore. However, we kept talking and hanging out. Maybe because I moved states for her since she wanted to be close to her family. I took her out for her birthday in January of 2019. When I say a name pop up on her phone and she turned the phone away from me. In asking her brother, he said it may be her boss. He worked at the same place she did and said she seemed to have a weird relationship with him. The brother told me the boss's address. One night, when she said she couldn't come over to the apartment we shared before, I drove to her mom's house where she said she was staying. She wasn't there. I drove to her boss's house and saw her car parked in front. I called her out on it, and she admitted she cheated and was continuing to see both the boss and myself being a moron, but in love. I spent the better part of a year trying to win her back. All while she flew to Arizona to meet a guy she met online. Told me she could really see herself living there with him, and still also talking to the boss. At some point, I finally went no contact for a few months. At which point she said she was sorry, she really loved me and it was all an immature mistake. She promised this would be the end of anything else. I still devastated and recovering from the worst year of my life. Took her back, we moved into a new apartment. Then, the cheating happened again, briefly, through the end of 2019 with her boss. I at this point was at the lowest I have ever felt in my life. I took her back and we went through COVID lockdown together. We eventually moved into a house together where we have lived until now, January 2024. She came to me last Thursday after work and said we needed to talk. She said she no longer felt like we were compatible and didn't feel like I was a life partner for her. Just on Christmas she had asked me to never leave her, and her best friend states she was just talking about marriage. I was blindsided. I sent flowers, a love letter apology, and a gift to her mom's where she was staying. Well, turns out, leopards don't change their stripes. She was cheating with a coworker at her new job and decided to leave me for him. I am devastated. I thought we finally got past what had happened. However, this time, I am not sending the angry texts nor the begging her to come back. I will be leaving this state. I was approved to work remotely with my job and will be finishing up some projects over the next few months, getting things in order and moving. She left our 2 cats, her grandpa's cat, a rat, and her goldfish in 120 gallons fish tank. She left all her things here that I will need to sort through. That's my story. I loved, thought I knew better, believed the lies, and now am incredibly sad and angry. Update. How do I let go? Recently my girlfriend of 6 years left me and blindsided me with a breakup roughly 3 weeks ago. I have gone no contact and am trying to stay busy. This is not the first time she has done this. 5 years ago she cheated and left me for someone else. This now happened again. I look back at what happened 5 years ago and see what she is saying, how she is acting, and what she is doing is exactly the same. The only thing that changed is my response. I chased her for nearly a year back then and she ended up coming back. I can't do it to myself again. I know if I just wait long enough, she will come back. I need to move on. I'm struggling to let go. Every day I am half hoping for a text or call from her saying she was wrong and wants to talk. I see the bad things. I know I acted more like a parent to her than a partner as she did not help me much around our house. She was a bad pet owner and I ended up being the caretaker there too. I'm not blind to the things that hurt me that she did. The cheating crushes me. I have extensively posted about it on my profile. I did not want to be a caretaker parent. I just wanted to help the person I loved who seemed to be struggling. I love this person with all of my heart. I have doubts that she ever loved me, and she absolutely did not respect me. Despite all that I did for her, her pets, the house and for us, I'm struggling to be mad. Instead, I am just sad. I'm sad with the loss, sad with myself for allowing someone to treat me this way, and sad that my life flipped upside down again. I cooked, cleaned, tried my best to make our home comfortable and quiet, made plans for a future with marriage. I see that how she treated animals would mean that the children's well-being, if we had any, would have been almost entirely my responsibility. If anyone has any advice on how to let go and get to a place where I won't be willing to take her back when she inevitably comes back around, I would greatly appreciate it. Every night I see her in my dreams 3 weeks in now, and I just have a hard time imagining anyone will love me, that I will have a normal relationship, and that I will meet or trust anyone again. I believe she thinks I'll always be a backup plan while she can go play the field. Update. Same breakup. Second time. I'm 3 weeks into my breakup with my girlfriend I dated for 6 years. She dumped me 5 years ago, nearly to the date. She left me for the first time and for the better part of a year, so she could focus on herself. Really, she had cheated with her boss and a guy she met online. I went no contact. Eventually she reached out to make amends. Now, she again is saying the same things as she did 5 years ago. We're not compatible. She loves me but isn't in love with me. I should have married her. I didn't focus on her love language. That I'm not empathetic. A whole laundry list of reasons that I was now hearing for the first time. Since the original breakup, that is. She is again actually cheating with a co-worker. My attempts to make amends and offer solutions to the things she said have been denied. She again is saying she never sees herself with me again, just like she did back then. The breakup is playing out exactly how it did 5 years ago. From the things she is saying, the time of year, and even how she left. A short exit conversation and left all of her stuff in my house. All that being said, I am having such a hard time letting go. I know she is lying to me. I still feel like I want to beg her and plead with her. I still have feelings of love rather than anger. I still feel like if she came back I would take her back. I know that if I go no contact with her, given enough time, she would reach back out to me. I am a second choice and a backup plan while she gets to learn to live alone. I don't want to be a second choice. It kills me to know she is sleeping with other people. I am not a stupid person, but apparently she is able to make me feel incredibly dumb and make dumb choices. I have my master's, I have a good job. I tried my best as a boyfriend and would have done more if I knew about the problems she had. I cook, I clean. I'm not saying I'm without fault, but I tried my best, and would have done more if her concerns were voiced to me before the end. I feel like she is just now saying these things to fit her narrative, to make me feel like I caused this and pine for her while she gets to go try her next plan. I don't know how to let go of the love I have for her. I know recently I have felt more like a caretaker than a boyfriend, a parent. Yet I still have feelings for her. People say time. I'm afraid with time she'll come back into my life and I'll fall for it again. Then we may have another 4-8 happy years, and this will rinse repeat, but with a divorce and kids involved at that point. I am just looking for advice and wanted to vent. I'm struggling every day. Update. I feel like I cannot move on. I have multiple stupid thoughts in my head that feel obsessive. I am just looking for any advice at all. I feel like she was the one, and that I fucked up. I cannot shake this feeling. I want her to come back, but I don't know how long I have to suffer for that to happen. It feels like I will never be able to move on. I feel like I am stuck in my sad emotions and repetitive thought processes. Because of this, I feel trapped in being sad and unable to do things that may help me in the long run. Therapy, gym, go out, etc. She is now doing things and it feels like I held her back in some way, or that she now wants to be a better version of herself. I received mail today from a laser hair removal center near our house. She must have gone to and put our address. She never did that for me. I never asked her to, but it hurts that she now wants to do things like that. We dated for 6 years in total. We have broken up before. I made a post in here recently outlining a lot of what happened. This breakup is now 3 weeks out. I feel at fault, despite loving her, because of the reasons she gave me. I wish she had expressed these feelings earlier so I could have been aware of the issue. It felt like she kept a list of things I did wrong, whereas I let things go that she did because I don't think small things are defining. I wish I shared my thoughts more too. I wish I said the love in my heart out loud a lot more. I feel stuck. I think the list she gave me of issues isn't even the reason she left. She left for her coworker, yet I'm stuck holding the bag regardless of the why. I'm the person who now loves someone who doesn't love them, and is trying to figure this out. I don't have many friends here as I moved here for work. I'm just looking for help, or someone to talk to. I'm hurt, confused, and feel like I have no direction anymore. I cannot seem to let go of the idea of her coming back. Even if she did come back, it likely should be a no from me, and I still think I'd say yes. Just like I did 5 years ago. Update. Afraid to move cross-country as it feels like the final nail in the coffin. Does anyone have any advice on this? I moved to her state 6 years ago for her. I really realistically have no friends here because I always spent my time with her. She left me 3 weeks ago, and has shown no signs of wanting to get back together. My family recently moved to Florida. I am sick of the Midwest winters, and I have friends in northern Florida as well. My work states that I can go fully remote. My lease is month to month right now. I could move to Florida, connect with friends, have a place to stay until I get set up. My fear is that by moving, it truly feels like I am giving up on her. Even though she gave up on us. I also do tell myself if she wanted me back in her life in the future, she would have to be willing to move for me. On one hand, I feel like the move is the right thing to do for me. On the other hand, I am afraid that I will be giving up on her, and will never see her again. Thanks. Update. Trust your gut, it's our only superpower. We're currently broken up, have been for going on 4 weeks. She cheated for the second time that I am aware of. There likely are more. She just got better at hiding it. Always with coworkers. Last night, as I was sitting in our home alone, I recalled a memory I haven't thought of in a long time, almost as if I suppressed it. It was directly before she left me for the first time for her boss. We were together at the time and all seemed well. I had no idea of the cheating. So I just remembered back in December 2018, she was having a work Christmas party. She told me where it was because I was going to go. Then that night she says actually it won't be that long, no need to come. Hours kinda tick by. I decide okay, I'll just go have a drink and maybe she's too drunk to drive. My gut said go. So I get there and I don't tell her I'm coming. I go inside, and she instantly sees me and comes to me at the door and says, "Why are you here?" And I said I figured I'd come. And she basically got me to leave immediately and wouldn't bring me by her work group. I should have trusted my gut back then. She made me out to be crazy for showing up like that unannounced. I felt so embarrassed and like I was mentally unwell for not trusting her. I ended up leaving alone and feeling shamed. I should have gone and introduced myself to her group, where the person she was cheating on me was. We broke up in the following weeks as she felt I didn't give her enough attention and fell out of love. She would deny cheating for about a year, until she wanted to get back together with me and apologized. Just like now, she is denying cheating. She broke up with me now again under similar circumstances. That story is why I will never get back together with her again. I know she will be back and I have to be able to say no. That gut feeling that something is wrong is a human being's only superpower. With all the drama and gaslighting, I seem to forget that night back in 2018. I am sure there are more memories and gut feelings I had that I ignored and blamed myself. Update. 5 weeks since she left. Need advice. I seem to have lost myself. It had been 5 weeks since my 6-year relationship with my girlfriend ended. She was cheating on me with a coworker, yet again, in a similar fashion to how she did 5 years ago. I am hurting. I think I am doing better than I was 5 weeks ago when I found out and she left me for him, but some days are so difficult. I still get her mail. I see that she went to some laser hair removal place. She never did that for me. She had started taking long baths, losing weight, doing new skincare regimens, all for someone who is not me. I moved for her, so she could be closer to her family. I paid bills, I took care of all the pets she wanted, got her the house she wanted, went on vacations she wanted. I make dinner every night. I do the dishes and clean the house. I went back to school to get my master's so we could afford nicer things. I paid bills when she didn't have the money. I feel like I gave so much, all because I love her, and I got cheated on in return. I have been trying to do the right things. I work out every day until the soreness and weakness is all I can think about. I journal daily. I am taking care of work and still taking care of the house. Yet I am the one hurting, while she gets to enjoy her new happy life. I feel unlovable. I am genuinely concerned that I will never meet anyone again. I look in the mirror and see a meek ugly man looking back. All my confidence and sense of direction are gone. Because we were best friends, she really ended up being my only friend. The other day I looked in the mirror and just said, "Who the fuck are you?" I don't even know what I want out of life anymore. I don't know what my goals are. I don't even know who I am. I don't know where I'm going. I feel to blame for the cheating. If only I did anything. If I gave her more compliments every day. If I planned more dates. If I tried to connect with her more. If I didn't ask her to help me with a chore, or to clean her room. I don't know if any of that would have mattered, but the what ifs still haunt me. I run through the hypothetical situation, so I work out for a year or so. I'm educated, I have a good job. On paper I am a decently attractive looking person. I finally meet someone new. How do I even know what love looks like anymore? I thought this was love, and to me it was. To her it was not. How would I handle any additional cheating from a new person, since this seems to be so common? I'm 30 this year. I wanted to start a family, and truth be told I thought her and I would. Now I feel like I missed my chance. I have so much to do to heal myself, there isn't even room for another person anymore. I feel like my love life is over. I feel like my ability to trust a human being is over. I have no idea what I even like anymore. I have been making decisions based on two people for so long that I have no idea who I even am. I love her unconditionally, but she is gone, and half of me wants her to run back begging, and the other half wishes I could move on and tell her no thank you. I was too weak to say no last time she left me for someone else, and I have to lay in the bed I made for myself. If anyone has any advice, I would greatly appreciate it. Update. I am hurting today while packing up her things. I have posted quite a bit about my story with my cheating ex-girlfriend, so I won't go into much detail about it in this post, but I have many posts if people want to read the details. I decided, after talking with friends, that I needed to pack up her things this weekend finally from in our house. We have a cubby-type shelf with 12 total cubes in it where you can put books and knickknacks. About half of them are empty now as they were full of her things. Feels the half-empty shelf is now a representation of my life. I want to believe that this cheating and loss of someone I love will somehow make me a better person in the long run. It doesn't feel that way now. Just over 6 weeks out and I still think about wishing I was dead. I think I am doing the right things. Not drinking, sleeping enough, working out, going no contact, leaning on friends, reading books on cheating, looking to move cross-country, speaking in a men's support group, and I have therapy starting Monday. But I also feel like I was doing the right things all along in the relationship. So doing the right things doesn't necessarily mean things will be correct. I still love this person and miss her like hell. I wish I could get angry. Instead, I am just miserable from the loss of someone who I loved and was my best friend. Even if she came back begging, what good would that do me now? There is no path to reconciliation when you lie and cheat and leave and blame the person you cheated on for why you are leaving. Yet I still want her to. She is a weak person, that's why she cheated, and that's why she values the attention of men outside of our relationship. And yet I have to be strong, and I have to pack up her things, and I have to deal with the fallout of the cheating and breakup while she gets to dive into a new relationship. I have to face demons I did not want to face. This is my punishment for being in love and trying my best. I'm looking for any support because as a 29-year-old man I'm breaking down while boxing this stuff up. This house is not a home anymore. Update. Finally started therapy and it seems to have confirmed my suspicions that my ex has BPD. I have extensive posts on my profile regarding this current breakup with my ex. This pattern has repeated itself for 6 years. Multiple times she left me for someone she was cheating on me with, or pitted us all against each other for her benefit. Talked to a therapist yesterday for the first time, explained everything that happened over the last 6 years. My therapist believes that she may have borderline personality disorder. He stated he cannot tell me what to do, but strongly recommended I never get back together with her, and that she will likely be back due to borderline personality disorder. He stated these people hurt a lot of people, but will spend quite a bit of time with someone who they can push around and get away with it. We are going to work on building my self-esteem and self-respect going forward. This last bout of our relationship went on for roughly 3 years without issue, as far as I am aware. Though recently I have been feeling like I do too much around the house, and was continually asking her to do more. She took this as a personal insult. I continually put her needs and wants above my own. I am going to take some time off of dating and just focus on learning to love myself. I am currently 3 weeks no contact with her, and 7 weeks since we broke up. I really do love her, but she hurts me so much and so cyclically that I am inclined to agree with my therapist and friends, who are stating I should never give her another chance. I think that I would feel bored in a regular mundane relationship at this point and maybe wouldn't even be able to recognize that it was normal. It doesn't change the fact that I miss her. It does hurt a bit more knowing that this is likely something that will never change in her, and that chances of reconciliation lasting are so low. I do need to draw the line somewhere. I am worthy of being in a relationship where I am not cheated on and loved for who I am. It feels like the last 6 years were all just a sham. Real to me, temporary and fleeting for her. If anyone has any advice or support, it would be appreciated. Thanks. Update. Trying to figure out what was real and what was not after 6 years. My BPD ex-girlfriend and I dated for 6 years total. We are currently broken up. From the beginning it felt like true love. The one. She said and did all the right things and I ignored how much trauma she dumped on me. How filthy her house was. And I chalked it up as she was in college and college can be hard on anyone. We moved in together way too quickly, but it felt real and right. When she dropped out of college and wanted to move back to her home state, I did not want to lose what felt real and right. I found a job there and moved. She followed 3 months later. We got an apartment and it felt like true love. She had depression issues and that is what she blamed her first cheating and leaving episodes on. She also blamed me for not giving her enough attention. She blamed me a lot. I spent the better part of a year chasing her. When finally after a no-contact period of 2 months or so, she reached out and let me know she was sorry, and that she needed my help. She wanted me back. She had been dating 2-3 people that she left me for, and regretted it. She said all the right things. We got back together. Couple months later, she leaves again for one of the same guys. This lasted for 3 months or so. Finally she comes back again. We just need to get a house, then things will be better because of the commitment. I get us a house. And things actually did seem better up until now. She had belittled me recently, talked to me like I was stupid, and maybe I am because she walked all over me. She'd scoff and get angry silently if I ever asked her to do anything around the house. I was trying to manage taking care of the house and pets by myself. Well, finally she left randomly. She's with someone else now. I'm making plans to leave the state. It's all coming together and I should be happy, but instead I'm sad. She has my emotions so twisted I cannot tell what is my fault and what isn't. She broke up with me and cheated on me, and yet I feel guilty for leaving the state. I think about things like the cheated, the unstable moods, the driving recklessly when she was mad, the time I said I need more help around the house, or I will have to be done, and how her eyes looked like shark eyes, and her demeanor changed to someone unrecognizable. I think about how much self-respect I've lost in 6 years. I went into this relationship thinking this was my soulmate, and now I am running away from the state, because I feel like she broke me mentally. All the love yous, plans for the future, fun and laughter. I cannot tell what was real and what was fake to her. How someone could continually snap, blame me but never communicate, and lie is something that's very hard to wrap my mind around. 7 weeks out, in therapy, working on getting away and working on rebuilding myself. Update. 60 days no contact with cheating ex. Hey everyone. Just looking to type my feelings and thoughts and see what others' experiences have been. I am hurting. I initially felt proud of myself for being able to go no contact with my ex-girlfriend who cheated on me again. She did 5 years ago, and I chased and did the pick-me situation until she finally got bored of the others. This cheating was an exit affair. I suppose no contact has been easy this time as she doesn't want to talk to me anyways. In our over 6-year relationship, this is the longest we've ever gone without seeing each other or speaking. I feel very alone. I still struggle believing I will find someone again. Most days I don't blame myself for her cheating. Some days I do. I'm still planning my cross-country move. I believe she knows I am moving and still does not care. It's likely she never did care. I have found out that she does have diagnosed covert narcissism from the things she left in our house. My therapist believes she likely has BPD. If I could go back in time, I wish that I would have walked away 5 years ago. We had barely dated a year at that point, and I could have recovered more easily. Staying back then and fighting for her was very self-destructive. It seems to have compounded with this latest cheating. Some days I feel strong, and other days like today feel like I'm starting all over again. I miss her, or rather I more likely miss the person I thought she was. I'm deeply concerned that she will get in contact with me before I leave the state, and it will confuse the hell out of me. I feel like I gave up so much. She inadvertently isolated me from friendships and family. I moved for her. I lost touch with so many people. I've given up 6 years of my life. I wanted to be starting a family in the next year. I have pets now that she wanted, that I do love, but wouldn't have gotten on my own. I'm left with a trauma that is impossible to understand, questions I'll never have answered, and I'm to just start over. Any advice would be appreciated. I am struggling today. Thanks. Update. An update 5 months after the exit affair. Some days are really good. Some days are really bad. A friend from out of town visited me and we went to breweries and bars. He said, "You seem sad." To which I said, "I am." This is bittersweet. In the 6 years in this state, I haven't gotten to do these things because my ex didn't like to. So now as I'm leaving, I get to see some of the things I would have actually liked all along. I am still moving cross-country in 2 weeks. I bought a new car. The person I wanted to talk most to about the car is the person I've been no contact with for 4 months. I've stopped pain shopping. I did find out that her family cut contact with her because they found out the man she is cheating with is in his 50s. I'm turning 30. She just turned 26. He's a rough 52 if I'm being honest. I feel a bit like I'm in purgatory. I am not meant to be where I am anymore, but I'm not yet where I'm supposed to be. I think this applies geographically and psychologically as well. I feel somewhat hopeful at times that I will meet someone in the new city. I think I will have to be more outgoing, watch for red flags, and make sure they're actually a partner. Other times I feel like I will be permanently alone. New state, new apartment, new car, friends nearby. I hope I can make the most of it all. This has been and continues to be the hardest part of my life. I miss having someone to laugh with, do things with, have intimacy with. I hope I'm on the path I'm supposed to be on. I have given up any thought of reconnecting with her ever in the future. Anyways, just an update as I wanted to put my thoughts down, and I don't think I'll be checking Reddit much in the next 2 weeks, as I have a lot to do still for packing. Second story. My girlfriend of 4 years cheated on me with a low-value man. So last Saturday my girlfriend left her phone on the nightstand and I saw that someone had texted her at 1:30 a.m. She was dead asleep, and the week before I had asked for the first time for me to go through her phone and she said no. I've never had any doubts about her faithfulness until that day. I take her phone and go through everything and see sexting, a plot to fuck exe. For the past 6 months she had been talking to another dude, and from what I could gather for the past 3, they had been fucking a few times. Now it should be said that we lived together for almost the first 3 years, and we have been doing long distance for this past year so she can finish up her second bachelor's degree. Now I should also say I've invested $20,000 plus in her school, life, housing exe. Needless to say I was pissed and woke her up at 4 a.m. and she started to deny everything. I pretended to believe her so that I could get undeniable evidence that she had been cheating. So the dude that she was talking to was from her work, and I just confronted him about everything. Very calmly, and he was man enough to tell me the truth. The total times they had sex from her mouth was 2 times. The texts seemed to be about 4. He didn't say how many times. The part that hurts the most is that they were talking for those 3 months. He was snaking his way into her heart and she didn't stop it before they fuck for the first time. We get into a huge argument 2 days before they plan to fuck for the first time. We make up, talk, she fucks me, then goes to training in another city for her work, and she still goes through with the affair. Her excuse is that she assumed that we were about to break up and that's why she cheated. We are still together though I'm so fucking broken, and she has broken it off with him, and is now trying to make it up to me with actually going back to being the person I originally fell in love with. She said that I was not emotionally supportive enough, and she didn't feel safe to talk to me and open up to me about a lot of stuff, and that's how they started talking. I'm actively trying to be a better man and I'm making improvements day by day. I have a good job that's able to take care of myself and her, but I've made so many personal sacrifices to see her succeed and have her dreams come true. I feel too emotionally and financially invested in her to break it off with her, and even though she cheated on me with another man, I get that I'm a cold asshole sometimes, and I feel like her cheating has actually made me understand my shortcomings and has made me realize how to do better. I don't want to cheat on her, but I've always had options, but for some reason I feel like it's the only way I can feel like we can move on from this. My girlfriend is very curvy naturally and has gained some more weight over time. Doesn't bother me. She's very insecure about skinny girls, and I have a model-level friend that's a girl, and she has been waiting for my girlfriend to drop the ball and get into my pants. I think she's the perfect candidate for ripping my girlfriend's heart out like she did to me. I really don't want to do that, but I have the option. I'm with her because I loved her and stuck it out because she was with me when I had nothing, and I feel like she's mine again, but not in a possessive way. Thoughts? Third story. I've been cheated on twice and it is affecting my third relationship. I've had 2 long-term relationships that lasted 5 years each, but both of them ended when the partner cheated on me. They both were all in, till the time they weren't. The first time the girl confessed herself, the second time I caught her red-handed. I've sometimes felt that maybe I am attracted to red flags, but there were no red flags when I got into good healthy 3. to 3.5-year-long relationships with them, and then they fucked up. Important to note that I'm an emotionally dependent individual, and maybe that suffocation led for the girls to try new things outside. That's the reason my first one gave me. Both relationships have left me devastated, and it took me 6 months to recover from each of them. I've tried to end my life because of this once. Now I've been living with my new girlfriend, possibly my wife, for the last 6 months. She is amazing and has had a lot of positive impact on my life. I've never felt healthier, happier, and more on track with my life's goals. I've met her parents and we've started conversations about marriage. Now, due to the previous experiences, I keep questioning her intent, her ways, and her closeness to her friends. I do it internally too often and have had few conversations about this as well. She has always calmly handled my absurd overthinking, but I feel that everyone has limited patience in them. I always feel like this relationship is a ticking time bomb and I'm running out of time. She will either cheat on me or leave me for being an emotional burden on her. What triggers this thought of her cheating on me? She is close to a lot of boys who are good friends as well from her past. These are ex-boyfriends, fuck buddies, etc. Looking at my insecurities, she has tried to reduce her frequency of talking to them actively and drastically, knowing that those guys were pricks and were still trying to hit on her. But I feel that she hides a lot of things from me. I do not know how to control this urge of being right this time where she ends up cheating on me. Have people here faced the same thing? What helped? Fourth story. Has anyone divorced years after the affair? Mainly regarding reconciliation and healing, but my wife and I share all social media and I'm looking for a different perspective. I've been waffling back and forth on what I want to do. One minute I'm set on divorce, the next minute I convince myself otherwise. I'll write a post, take it down, then write it again. I'm pretty much a closet disaster. Sincere apologies for the length of this, and I can include backstory if necessary, but my wife, 36F, and I, 38M, have now been married for 13 years. We have 2 kids, 9M, 7F. She had an affair, both EA and PA, with a co-worker about 5 years ago now. Lasted about 6 months. I stayed because our kids were so young and my wife was deeply remorseful, begged and begged to reconcile. She cut off contact with the AP, left her former place of employment. We started MC and we've both been seeing a therapist of our own. And she's been very patient and understanding with me over the years, and not just in the short term, but even now. As far as reconciliation goes, I guess she's been as good as a betrayed partner can ask for. She's really invested in being a better person and understanding what led her to the betrayal. Given all of the horror stories that many WS put their betrayed through, I can't complain given that this is the path I've chosen. Recently I've been commenting on this, but I've tried in MC and meeting with my own therapist over the years. I've read books, been seeking support online as aforementioned. I've done everything I can find both online and in person to help me recover, but I just don't feel the same about my wife. I haven't since the day I found out about the affair. I haven't been honest about this with my wife because I don't want to hurt her. I always reassure her and say the right things because I just don't want her to feel the pain that I feel. I know it's pathetic. Early on in the ER process we both were taking the correct steps and making progress, I suppose, but she was overwhelmed by guilt. As time went on, I just kept having such a hard time with the affair. I'd continue to try and express my true feelings to my wife, but she started to break down, sometimes shut down, have these emotional panic attacks, sob, apologize, then sob. It just became too much, so I kinda stopped expressing my hurt a few years back. I actually felt guilty continually talking about my pain, and I guess I just naively thought feelings would come back and eventually all would be great again. Much of what I kept reading, hearing was to just give it time, but there's no promise that any joy or normalcy will return. and now I'm reaching the point where I finally realize that it never will. I can't look at her the same. I can't hold her or kiss her the same way. It just hurts my soul. Everything feels stained or ruined. These feelings were strong when I learned of the affair, then slightly faded as we threw ourselves into our very young kids at the time. Some hysterical bonding occurred, of course, but recently in the past couple of years my pain and anguish have grown back stronger and stronger. I went through such a long period of self-hate, of blaming myself, losing all self-confidence. Depression grew and grew. In thinking about it, I suppose not much has changed really. I'm still in that headspace a lot of the time. But I was continually told that the fault's problems were my wife's and not my own. That she was the broken one. Well, you could tell me that 10 million times, and it's not going to make me feel any less miserable. She chose him, and only came back to me after getting caught. That's what runs through my head constantly, regardless of what she says. My therapist insists I'm doing all of the right things, but I just feel that my path to happiness might mean divorcing my wife and moving on. I fully understand that she chooses to be with me now, but will I ever know her true motivations for that? She could be lying to me and staying so as not to hurt me further. Maybe just to keep our family together. Maybe she still privately longs for this other man, and she could be telling the truth. It kills me to not know. Yes, she's with me now, but does she want to be? I mean, to her, she probably believes that I'm healing, that I'm returning to my old self and that I choose her again too, but she doesn't know my inner truth either. I suppose this could be the case if there's an affair or not. Maybe I'm just in my own head as usual. I hate what her affair has done to the peace of our marriage. I hate it with every fiber of my being. I love my wife, but she hurt me so deeply and so painfully. It just festers so often. I want to be happy, but I want her to be happy too. A while back she asked me if I'll ever treat her the way I used to, and I tiptoed around my answer, lying again to protect her from the same pain she caused me. But if I'm being 100% honest with myself and with my wife, the answer to that question is and has been undoubtedly no. I won't ever treat her the same way again, because she's not the same person to me any longer. That's not fair to either one of us, right? Intimacy has never been the same. It takes everything in me to not constantly imagine her with the other man. The things she did, said, the sounds she'd make, things maybe she did for him but not me, conversations they had, things she said about me, etc. It's horribly haunting. I lose my erection at times, which is so incredibly embarrassing. This in turn just sends me back into the mental gymnastics, as I'm sure her AP never had issues. Another way he was better than me that probably keeps her longing for him. Man, everything I read insisted therapy would help with this, but it never has. I keep thinking I can just continue the facade and let her believe I'm fine, but I really can't do this. It's not fair to anyone. I have to face reality. Time isn't making things better, it's only getting worse. I thought I was doing the right thing by staying, by trying to work through things, but I realize now I'm throwing away so much of my own soul, and damaging my kid's wife's happiness along the way. I can't be the person that I used to be around my wife. I've tried for years now, and I know it's going to get worse, not better. So, has anyone tried to reconcile but divorced years later? Was it the right move? Are you happier now? How did the kids handle it? I'm just scared either way. I hardly get a full night's sleep since her affair. I can probably count them all on one hand in the past few years. I just can't find peace. I'm losing myself piece by piece and I need help. I need a release. It just always hurts, but I'm so afraid of ending my marriage, so I just grin and bear it day after day. My wife has put in a ton of work to remedy this and fix what's broken in her, but she's the one that destroyed me. Why am I enduring this to protect her? I don't know. I'm just so scared of what divorce will do to all of us. Naturally, it's my kids' futures that has me constantly second-guessing everything. I just need to hear that we'll be okay. Would prefer to hear from people reconciling or have had failed reconciliations, but any advice is welcomed. Thanks in advance. Fifth story. My now ex-wife cheated on me with my brother, and now regrets it. I'm 25 years old. I was married to my ex Serenity, also 25 years old. Me and her were together since we were 16 years old. We have 3 daughters together, Amanda, Clara, and Lyric. Like every couple, there are always going to be arguments, but to be distant with me was the first sign due to being cheated on before, so I saw the first red flag. Everything was normal until I got off work early one day and saw that my ex and my brother Neil were having sex in the living room next to my daughter Lyric, who was 7 months old at the time. I was about to lash out, until they saw me. They both rushed at me trying to explain themselves, but I dodged them and picked up Lyric, who had been in a soiled diaper. I was beyond pissed. I asked Serenity how long. She said, "Our entire marriage." I responded by saying, "So it's a possibility the girls might not be mine." She stayed quiet. I asked her to leave, and I will be filing for divorce and keeping the girls. Fast forward 5 months later, our divorce was finalized quickly, and I got DNA tests and the girls are mine. But something asked me to speak to my ex because she gave me an explanation. I talked to her, and she clarified that at the time we were going through financial difficulties. We got married at 18 due to pregnancy. And she informed me that my brother had a settlement from his job, and he kept flaunting his money around. And she fell for his trap. Now she wanted to reconcile. It said, "Bitch, you are crazy." She began to cry. Come on, you cheated on me for money and now my brother is broke, and you want another chance, girl, please. Anyway, she regretted cheating and constantly calls me still to this day, and I refuse her advances. If I gave a second chance, you have to earn it. My brother is 38 years old and he also an affair child, mom's fault, and he received a settlement of $720,000. He blew through that quickly.